world may have ended, but Junkyard Joust continues. Baby Humongous Cookie rules over the joust with an iron fist. If you want fuel, she's got it, but you have to win. And to win the Junkyard Joust, you have to survive it.
Welcome to the 7th and final qualifier of the Apocalypse Joust. 2 teams get to move on to the semifinals tonight. Hi everybody, I'm Aaron Yonda. Who will it be? Here are the 5 teams. There's some fun ones in this batch. Let's take a closer look. First up, it's Team Beaverworks. Some good variety here and a double-sided bruiser. Black Death with a vehicle that appears to have a giant mousetrap on it, except for vehicles. Mad Mike's Misfits with a couple bruisers and a couple lighter, more agile cars. Task Force Booger, named I assume after their paint color. WMD, these look like some beat up vehicles, but they are still weapons of mass destruction. Let's head out to the wasteland and begin the joust. Cookie, start us off.
Oh, thank you. That's a great honor. It's overrated.
Here we go, round 1, starting off with No Peace Van for WMD, sponsored by Chicken Rings Onion Wings. A nice slam there, knocks the track buffer right off the track with that heavy vehicle and takes its place a ways down the track. Big Gun Brody, an apt name for Task Force Booger, sponsored by Emo Dingo. Big Gun stops dead after the impact with that heavy van, which bounces and goes a little ways back down the track again. Ride Gen Express up first for Mad Mike's Misfit, sponsored by Jason's Bits Boys. The Ride Gen gets underneath Big Gun Brody, but then loses control and falls straight off the track sideways. Big Gun Brody also sideways, but still on the track, so not out of it yet. Flipstream going down first for Black Death, sponsored by Judy Collins. This thing has a ramp on the back. And now that ramp is in position. Big Gun Brody thrown off the track. Scout will be the first vehicle to take the plunge for Team Beaverworks, sponsored by Chome. Scout flies off the ramp into the wall and bounces back. Looks like it's gonna make a recovery, but it can't quite pull it off and skids to a halt sideways and done. I have a feeling that ramp has more victims to claim in this round. Ford Maverick now for WMD, sponsored by Dr. Gonzo. Maverick hits the ramp, and that is a great recovery. Slams into the wall, bounces into the van, pushes the ramp farther down, but lands it perfectly. That's exactly the result you want to see if you're WMD. Slick Richard for Task Force Booger, sponsored by Price X Private Parts. Slick Richard does a nice job of landing it. A little bounce off Ford Maverick and a nice recovery. Poor Vet up next, sponsored by Pick Your Sticker. Come on down to Pick Your Sticker and pick yourself a sticker, mister. Poor Vet makes a beautiful leap into the wall and somehow pulls it out with the recovery. A little twist there at the end. So far this ramp not doing as much damage as I thought. Car Wall up now for Black Death, sponsored by Chicken Rings Onion Wings. Looks like this thing might be able to get under its own ramp, but it doesn't. It goes up on the ramp, bounces off the van, tips over despite the springs that are there to stop it from doing that. And wow, Black Death with a self-elimination. They gotta watch out for their own jump. Boom Beaver, sponsored by Reaper EOD. Boom Beaver takes the jump, has a great result. Some good stability on Boom Beaver. Boulevard Bruiser for WMD, sponsored by Stump's Tree Farm. Boulevard Bruiser shoots off the ramp, goes way up into the wall. I think a pretty good height going on right there. Makes it all the way up to a 5, but can't pull off a recovery and lands upside down by the track buffer, and that's gonna be a loss for WMD. Baby Daddy up now, sponsored by Farty Marty. Baby Daddy hits the jump, a nice job keeping it stable, flips over, but then uses that bounce on the wall to get back to pretty much upright. Nitro Door Slammer for Mad Mike's, sponsored by the Miskatonic Automotive Club. Nitro Door Slammer bounds over all the cars, lands, barely even touches anything, and goes into the wall, knocks some gas barrels down. Hopefully there's no gas spilling out of any of those gas barrels. I think they're all full. Let's see if Under Carnage can get under Flipstream, sponsored by Chorgoth the Infinite Horror. Under Carnage, even with that low front, cannot get under the ramp. And right now, Black Death is inflicting more casualties on its own team than any other. Can any cars get underneath that ramp? Hammered Beaver for Beaverworks, sponsored by Tim the Bear Neal. The Beaver hits the ramp, hits the wall, and makes a great recovery. That's a heavy car. Impressive recovery right there. Here comes the War Wagon, sponsored by Hendrika's Heavy Hauling. War Wagon does what all the cars are doing and does not manage a recovery. Flips straight upside down and out. We're starting to see a few more eliminations from that ramp. Gary Glowbright, sponsored by Bentley's Brakes and Bumpers for the Booger. Gary Glowbright hits the wall, bounces back perfectly, no problem for Gary Glowbright. The Audi Quattro for Mad Mike, sponsored by Mark the Music Lover. The Audi ramps off to the left and almost looks like it's going to make a recovery, but it gets stuck on the track buffer and flips over upside down. That's another elimination. Maybe Deadbolt can get under its own teammate, sponsored by Sloss Automotive Sachet and Buffet. Deadbolt does indeed get under and unfortunately takes out its own car, prevents the ramp, but also eliminates the ramp from the match. Man, Black Death in a lot of chaos right here. And here comes a big hit from Beavermuth, sponsored by Chicken Wings Onion Wings. Beavermuth slams into the pile, somehow does not cause any destruction, just sends Flipstream farther off the track and more upside down. But now there's a 132-gram monster vehicle on the track. Driftsta's up next, sponsored by Sicken. Ooh, I thought the low front on Driftster would help it right there, but it does not. It launches off of Beavermuth, goes up to a height of 5 before it hits the pipes on Deadbolt and flips over. Done. Dick Missile for Task Force Booger, sponsored by Sid from Cybertron. Dick Missile slams into Beavermuth and flips over upside down. Not a lot of stability there. And it looks like one of the springs on Deadbolt has slid down. Armored Truck for the Misfits, sponsored by Sean's Toy Room. The Armored Truck slaps Dick Missile over and off the track. Dick Missile does not make a recovery. Armored Truck is now poised in a dangerous position. Here comes the long one for Black Death, Heavy Mauler, sponsored by Chicken Wings Onion Wings. Heavy Mauler pushes the Armored Truck up and over. It is sideways, and now Heavy Mauler in position with that mousetrap on the back. The Beaverari will go for the cheese first, sponsored by Brendan Walsh. Whoa, Beaverari sets off the trap and doesn't get flipped into the air by it, but certainly does not come out in a good position. Not quite enough of the car getting up on the trap to get flipped, but man, if it had, that would have been a giant loft into the air. Beaverari, though, still the worse off for that exchange. And that was the final car of round 1. We've got 12 eliminations on the field, maybe one more. We're gonna take a measurement on the Armored Truck. Yep, that is definitely beyond 45 degrees. 13 eliminations, over half the field. Uh-oh, we've got a fire on the field. Nitro Door Slammer ran into those gas barrels, must have got gas on the car, and now it's not looking too good. Well, burned or not, it's still gonna have to compete. Since it's right side up, we'll get that fire put out. Meanwhile, here are your 13 eliminations. Team Beaverworks and Task Force Booger coming off best with only 2 losses apiece. Everybody else lost 3. Here we go, round 2, let's keep it rolling. Gary Glowbright starting us off. The field is still pretty even, nobody taking a clear lead in this match. A big chunk of the eliminations in round 1 provided by Black Death, but they have no ramp now. As Hammered Beaver tosses Gary Glowbright off the track, but Gary, good recovery there, nice and steady. And here we can see what's left of Nitro Door Slammer is going to be going down the track. Looks like the bottom of the car is still in good shape, and it does a nice slam into Hammered Beaver. It kind of looks like the top of Nitro Door Slammer being melted like that could help prevent it from staying upside down so easily. Heavy Mauler slides into position, debris flying around, and now that trap is set up again. Let's see what happens this time. Oh, the trap deploys and works flawlessly. The van getting tossed off the track, 101 grams. Couldn't quite get it up too high in the air, but definitely got it off the track, sideways and out. Nitro Door Slammer trying to get off the track. Slick Richard boinks into Heavy Mauler and just flips over. But is it just playing dead? Waiting for the next car to come down and right it. Whoa, a walloping hit from Boom Beaver. Breaks a chunk off of Slick Richard and sends it over into the wall by the barrels. Hopefully it doesn't light up on fire. It does not make a recovery though. It's upside down and Boom Beaver is underneath. And Heavy Mauler barely manages to stay on the track after that huge hit from Boom Beaver. The Corvette bounces back off Boom Beaver, manages to stay locked in the track. Doesn't get much to happen. Deadbolt slides under Corvette. Heavy Mauler maybe just got helped there by its teammate. Pretty tight line on the track now. Ooh, the Ford Maverick gets underneath the bolt of Deadbolt and creates a mishmash of cars on the track. Anything could happen here. A lot of cars precariously placed right now. Baby Daddy hits the line, cannot get anything to move. May have just helped Deadbolt out. Oh, a massive hit from Beavermouth. The Maverick is blown off the track and it loses control, goes upside down. Meanwhile, Baby Daddy kind of looks to me like that car just broke in half, but it's still alive. Some big devastation there from Beavermouth? Is it Beavermouth? It might be Beavermouth. I've probably been pronouncing it wrong. 3 eliminations in the round. We're gonna take a measurement. There might be a 4th. And it looks like Baby Daddy is exactly at 45 degrees. So Baby Daddy will survive. And oh, they're taking a measurement on Deadbolt too, just to be sure. It looks like Deadbolt is good to go. So it'll stay at 3 eliminations, and we're gonna lose our first team in this match. WMD taken down in that round. Task Force Booger lost 1. No other teams lost any. So let's head back to the hill and start it over again with Boom Beaver for Team Beaverworks. Beaverworks the only team with 3 in the match right now, and Beavermouth looking like a tough vehicle to eliminate. Poor Corvette takes out Boom Beaver and goes sideways itself. Whether it stays like that remains to be seen. And Gary Glowbright insists that Corvette stay upside down, knocking it off the track and trying to escape itself. Couldn't quite get away though. The Heavy Mauler pushes Gary Glowbright off the track completely. Gary keeps it level, and now that trap is in position, although Heavy Mauler is curbside. A huge hit from Hammered Beaver doesn't set off the trap. Can't quite get Heavy Mauler over, and Gary Glowbright in a very strange position right now, wedged between Heavy Mauler and the track buffer. The burned out Nitro Door Slammer slams into Hammered Beaver, cannot move it. Baby Daddy bumps into Nitro Door Slammer. The top of the car looks like it's just about ready to come off. There's a big hit coming down from Deadbolt. Can Baby Daddy keep it together? Baby Daddy tumbles and does not come apart. Impressive maneuver right there. Flipping over Nitro Door Slammer and landing right side up, almost taking down Gary Glowbright in the process. Big hit from the final vehicle of the round, Beavermouth. Nitro Door Slammer gets thrown up in the air. It finally topples over, and is it out? It's tough to say. Gonna guess we're gonna go take a measurement on that one. That's the end of round 3, 2 definite eliminations. We've been doing a lot of measurements in this match for some reason. Nitro Door Slammer beyond the 45-degree angle. That's going to be out. Gary Glowbright right exactly at 45 degrees, not out. So 3 eliminations, and we are going to lose Mad Mike's Misfits, the second team out of this match, and things are equaled up very nicely right now. 2 cars remaining for all 3 teams as we start off with Gary Glowbright for Task Force Booger. Task Force has 1 car that's definitely in danger of coming apart at the seams, but they are still solidly in this match. 102-gram hit on Gary from Hammered Beaver, and Gary Glowbright is sideways up in the safety area, attaining a height of 5 on the way there. Definitely not out of the question that it could recover in that position. And Heavy Mauler does Gary Glowbright a favor, smashing the Hammered Beaver up to the front where Gary makes a recovery. The mousetrap must be a little beat up at this point. Baby Daddy does not set it off. Lucky for Baby Daddy. And the big one from Beavermouth causes massive damage, splitting Baby Daddy in half and breaking the back off of Heavy Mauler. It falls over sideways, but the front is still alive, as is the bottom part of Baby Daddy. Wow, absolute devastation from Beavermouth there. Man, oh man. A scary looking vehicle for good reason. Deadbolt hits Beavermouth, and oh no, a chain reaction which causes Black Death to self-eliminate, something they've been struggling with all match. Deadbolt trying to take out Beavermouth and can't quite manage it, and now Black Death might be out of the match. We gotta take a measurement on the cab of Heavy Mauler to see. Heavy Mauler definitely beyond 45 degrees, and that is gonna do it for this match, folks. That big hit from Beavermouth seals the fate of Black Death, or does it? They are definitely out of this match, but will they make it into the wild card? Let's take a look at the points. Beaverworks and Booger are moving on. Black Death scored 12 points, which will be enough to get them into the wild card match where these 5 teams will compete. 2 of them will make it to the semifinals. But now to the victors go the spoils. The vault is open, the gas is coming out. Congrats to Task Force Booger and Team Beaverworks. We'll get Baby Daddy all fixed up before the semifinals. Speaking of the semifinals, here are the teams that have qualified and will be battling. There will be 2 semifinal matches with 8 teams in each. The vault is closed. The jousting is over. Baby Humongous Cookie, send us off.
Oh, what a day. I would just like to say right now that
A huge thanks to everybody who entered the Apocalypse Joust. As usual, don't forget to like the video and leave a comment about anything you want. Thanks for watching, everyone. We'll see you next time on the Joust.